Moonlight Lake, a Flawed Key Chronicles prequel. Chapter 1, The Glitch in the Matrix. Lily didn't believe in ghosts, but she was starting to believe in bad wiring. It began on a Tuesday inside the Roasted Bean coffee shop. It was the same Tuesday she had lived 1,000 times before. The same rain pattered against the glass at the same rhythmic tempo. Tap, tap, slide. Old Man Miller was sitting in the corner booth, reading the same newspaper he had been reading since she was a child. The headline never seemed to change, or maybe she just never looked close enough to notice. She was waiting for her latte when the world stuttered. It wasn't a dizzy spell. Lily was 24, healthy, and possessed the sharp, analytical mind of a librarian. She knew what vertigo felt like, and this wasn't it. This was external. For a microsecond, less than a heartbeat, the coffee cup in the barista's hand vanished. It didn't fall. It simply ceased to exist, replaced by empty air. Then, with a sound like a static pop, it reappeared, but 3 inches to the left. The barista fumbled, catching it just before it hit the counter.
Whoa! The barista laughed nervously, wiping his hands on his apron. Butterfingers! Must be the weather! Lily stared at the cup. You didn't drop it, she whispered. It moved. Say what? Nothing, Lily murmured, taking her drink. She wrapped her hands around the cardboard sleeve, grounding herself in the heat. Stress, she told herself. Just stress. You've been cataloging too many microfiche reels. She walked out into the rain, pulling her coat tighter. But the feeling of wrongness didn't fade. It clawed at the back of her neck.
As she walked down Main Street, she watched a cardinal flying toward the park. The red bird beat its wings, up, down, and then froze. It hung suspended in the air, defying gravity, fixed against the gray sky like a sticker on a window. Lily stopped dead on the sidewalk. A car drove past, obliterating the silence, and when she looked back, the bird was gone.
Okay, she breathed, her heart hammering a frantic rhythm against her ribs. Okay, I need to sit down. She turned down a narrow alleyway she rarely used, looking for a bench or a quiet stoop. Instead, she found a door she had never seen before.
It was a heavy oak door with a brass handle, wedged between the brick walls of the bakery and the post office. Above it, a wooden sign creaked on rusted hinges, the Emporium. Lily knew this town. She knew every crack in the sidewalk and every name in the cemetery. There was no Emporium. There never had been. And yet the smell drifting from the mail slot wasn't mildew or rot. It was the scent of ozone, the sharp electric tang of a thunderstorm mixed with old paper. Her hand reached out before she gave it permission. Curiosity was her vice, her fatal flaw. The brass handle was cold, vibrating slightly under her palm. She pushed. A bell chimed overhead, not a tinkling brass bell, but a digital ping, clear and synthesized.
We're open, a voice called from the shadows. Though we shouldn't be.
Lily stepped inside. The shop was larger on the inside than the alleyway should have allowed. Shelves towered to the ceiling, packed with objects that defied categorization. There were grandfather clocks with no hands, globes that showed continents she didn't recognize, swords that looked like they were made of glass. But it was the dust that made her stomach turn. Dust motes floated in the shafts of light coming from high, grimy windows, but they didn't swirl in chaos. They moved in perfect synchronized grids, left, right, down, left, right, down. Can I help you find something? Lily jumped. The shopkeeper was standing behind a counter made of polished obsidian. He was an older man, wearing a tweed vest and spectacles that magnified his eyes a little too much. He looked tired. Not sleepy tired, but existence tired.
I didn't know this place was here, Lily said, her voice trembling.
We are usually archived, the man said, wiping a smudge off the counter. But the system is running a diagnostic today. Things pop up.
The system? The man waved a hand dismissively. The town, the council. You know how bureaucracy is. He leaned forward, his spectacles flashing. You aren't looking for antiques, are you, user? I mean, miss. I don't know what I'm looking for, Lily admitted. I saw a bird freeze in the air. I saw a coffee cup teleport. I think I'm going crazy.
The shopkeeper didn't laugh. He didn't offer her a glass of water. He nodded, as if she had just reported a pothole.
Rendering lag, he muttered. The cache is full.
Excuse me?
Nothing. He turned and walked to the back of the shop, his movements stiff. If you are seeing the seams, then it is time. You are early, but, well, the schedule has always been a suggestion.
He reached into a glass case filled with tarnished silverware and pulled out a small black velvet box. He set it on the counter.
This came in with the original shipment, he said softly, before the great crash. It has been waiting for a biosignature match.
Lily stared at the box. The pull was magnetic. It wasn't just curiosity anymore, it was gravity. Her hand moved on its own, flipping the lid open.
Inside lay a key. It was silver, but not any silver Lily had ever seen. It seemed to hold its own light, pulsing with a faint, rhythmic glow. The head of the key was shaped like a crescent moon, but the shaft was etched with intricate geometric lines that looked less like engravings and more like circuitry. "It's beautiful," Lily whispered.
"It's a route directory," the man said, though Lily barely heard him. "It opens the things that are locked, all of them."
She reached out.
"Careful," the shopkeeper warned. "Once you pick it up, you accept the terms of service. There is no refund policy on Destiny."
Lily didn't care. She needed to touch it. She needed to know why the bird froze. She needed to know why she felt like she had been asleep for 24 years. Her fingers brushed the cold metal. Snap!
A shockwave blasted through the room. It wasn't just static electricity. It felt like sticking a fork into a wall socket. Lily gasped, her vision whitening out. For a second, the shop disappeared. The walls fell away, revealing a grid of neon green lines against a black void. She saw numbers, strings of zeros and ones raining down like waterfalls. Then the shop snapped back into existence. But something had changed. A sharp chime rang out, not in the room, but inside her skull. Text, bright and electric blue, flared in the center of her vision, overlaying the dusty face of the shopkeeper. Artifact recognized. Item, the administrator's key inactive. Status, awaiting biometric sync, Lily screamed. She stumbled back, clawing at her eyes, but the text didn't move. It floated there, anchored to her retina.
"What did you do to me?" she cried, backing toward the door. "What is this?"
The shopkeeper looked at her with pity. He didn't look blurry anymore. He looked sharp, high definition.
"It's the UI, my dear," he said gently. "You've just logged in."
Lily didn't wait for an explanation. She grabbed the key. She couldn't leave it. It felt like part of her hand now, and bolted for the door. She burst out into the alleyway, gasping for air, the blue text still pulsing in her vision.
Quest available, the first gateway. Navigate to coordinates 35Y34, 8459.
She looked up at the sky. The gray clouds were gone. The sky was a bruised, deep purple, and the sun was a pixelated white square burning a hole in the horizon.
Lily ran